Yo, 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 welcome back to another podcast episode here on Life with Coffee podcast. It's your boy, AB. Yo, yo, yo. I know it's been a while since my last podcast, but here I am. I decided what perfect time to make a podcast rather than today. Today is December the 24th. It's Christmas Eve. And I got to say, man, I am grateful to each and every one of you that listen to my podcast or have listened to my podcast. The Spotify wrap up gave me a breakdown of and it's been really cool breakdown of the people or the new audience that I've reached. My most played episodes, the month that got played the most, just where in the country or where in the world basically people are listening to my podcast, how often they listen to my podcast compared to other podcasts. Coming into 2023 last year, I told myself I want I want to make more content. I want to be better this year on my podcast. I'm proud of myself because I feel like I did a good job. This year I really put my heart into it. I discovered new paths of podcasting, basically just new ventures in podcasting. I know if you've been following this podcast, you've seen that I brought on new guests. I feel like my podcast has grown a lot of new listeners. I really thank each and every one of you that shares my podcast, that supports my podcast, that supports the podcast page on Facebook. Every time you see it, you share it. Thank you guys. It really is something for you guys. It really is something that I enjoy doing. Um, I feel like I have a knack for this. I feel like I was born to do this. I don't know because I'm so talkative, man. I've discovered a lot about myself this year, and especially lately. I want to talk about this. Lately, I've been in this journey where I'm trying to understand myself. I'm trying to really dig deep into who I am, what I like, what I don't like, and I think this whole year I committed myself mentally to that. At first I thought that journey was just going to be in more towards the gym, and I started going to the gym. That was the beginning of what opened up a whole new world of self-discovery, a whole new world of just self-awareness, and the gym has helped a lot for me on that. And so this whole year I've been learning more about myself. I've been learning more about people, how people view me, how I view people, how I see certain situations, how not to go about certain situations, when to bite my tongue, when not to. Just I've learned so much this year, and I want to share that with you guys because I feel like it's also intertwined. Gym, me, podcasting. It's all come into play with just who I am, and I think that's why my podcast does so well. Thank God, and thanks to everyone. I think my podcast does well because of the person that I am. I'm not scared to really put myself out there. I'm not scared to try new things. I'm not scared to be talked about. I'm not scared to be disliked. It is what it is. If somebody likes me, great. If you don't like me, cool. Maybe you've heard my podcast and you're somehow came across this episode again, and my podcast just wasn't for you. That's cool. I heard it like this once somewhere. I'm an acquired taste. Not everybody likes me. Not everybody's gonna like what I have to say. Not everybody's gonna vibe with me. Not everybody's gonna think I'm cool or that my podcast is great or entertaining. Not everybody's going to do that. But you know what? I've come to terms that that's okay. I've never been a people pleaser. I've never been a people chaser, a pick me person. And I think that's what people don't like about me. That's what I'm learning. But I think that's also what the people that do like me, that's what they like. The people that do like the podcast, they like that maybe in some, certain episodes, I wasn't scared to say what needed to be said, or see things from a different perspective. I like to see the world from multiple angles and kind of see things from different perspectives so that way I can understand people. I love understanding people better. I love reading people and talking with them. And I think that's why the podcast does so well with me because that's what I do. When I'm not podcasting, I'm doing that in real life. And like throughout this year, the year of 2023, like I said, I felt like I went good on a good journey, new ventures. I really put myself out there. In the beginning of the year, I volunteered myself at the job that I was working with to go work in a different city. And it was only supposed to be a week type thing, which turned into like a month and a half, maybe. I don't know. It was a really long time. It was a lot of self-reflecting at that moment too. A lot of just me in a hotel sitting by myself when I wasn't working, just thinking about me, thinking about my life, where I wanted it to go, where it didn't go, and where it's supposed to be or where I thought it was supposed to be. And 2023 has been doing that to me to say, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you like. This is what you don't like. This is who you are. Accept it, embrace it. And I've tried to apply that to this podcast. And I always, or not always, I now preach to people, so to speak, is be who you are. You know, there's things that do need to be changed in every person. Every person needs to change certain things. You don't need to be an asshole all the time. You don't need to be like grumpy all the time. You don't need to talk or be rude all the time. But there's a certain character in you that God made that I believe that is what needs to stay the same. God made a character in you. God made you the way you are. Don't hide it from the world. If God made you that way, he didn't make you to be liked. He made you to for a purpose. And there was some other people that he made to be liked, to be popular, to be favored. You got to play your role in this life. You can't be scared to be who you are. You can't be scared to like what you like and think how you think. I think everybody needs to embrace that side of themselves, even the dark, ugly side. You need to confront it, embrace it, and just work through it. Work through what you don't like in your life, what you don't like about you. You got to work through that. You got to look in the mirror every day and say, I choose to be happy. I choose to be different. I want to be better. Those are choices that you have to make. 2023 has really brought me a new perspective to life of what I want in my life, what I want in my podcast, what I don't. And I'm ready to close the 2023 chapter, and I'm ready to move forward with the 2024 chapter. I'm ready for the new things that are coming to me. I'm glad and I'm prepared, and just am ready for the blessings coming to me in my life. I'm ready for the blessings coming towards this podcast. You know, as I said, I got new listeners this year. I got new podcasts and more episodes. I really threw myself out there. You know, I did a little bit more of videoing, as you can tell right now. I did a little bit more videoing in my podcast, and you know, it's just been really really good. But it's cliche, but I'm gonna use the saying that a lot of people say: I'm not where I want to be, but I'm definitely not where I used to be. So I'm glad about that. I'm proud of my podcast. I'm proud of myself. And I'm proud of everybody that listens to me and shares this and shares my content. I'm proud to have you guys as my listeners. I'm just grateful. It's Christmas Eve, and I just felt like, you know what, I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this Christmas Eve with family. Just remember that it's not about gifts, it's about who you're with. It's about who gave you that gift, who cares enough. The thought really is what counts. Whoever cared enough to give you that gift, give them a hug.